Hey guys, happy Monday. We're back today. We're going to begin reading The Wild Robot Escapes again. We are on chapter 58. But I want to recap about what we read last week. So we know Roz and Brightbill are on the run. They're escaping, and then there's something chasing them from up ahead. What is it? The airship. And something chasing them on the ground. Who's chasing them on the ground? The wolves, right? And then last week, something happened to Brightbill. What happened? They were running in a storm in the hail. Have you guys ever felt hail before? It's like the really hard snow or a frozen rain that just hits you. And this was really big hail that hit Brightbill's wing, and he's hurt, and we don't know what's going to happen. And they found a cabin. Now, you guys made predictions last week of what you think is going to happen in the cabin. Is there anybody in there? What are they going to do? Is Brightbill going to be okay? So let's read chapter 58. Right? The cabin. The hailstorm was brief but violent. Its icy stones were quickly melting away, but the damage would linger on. The valley was littered with shredded leaves and wildflowers. Wounded animals were hobbling back to their homes. Several unlucky birds lay limp in the grass. Inside the cabin, Roz was standing by the window. She held Brightbill in her arms, her bruised body wrapped in an old blanket. His bruised body wrapped in an old blanket. The robot knew everything that there was to know about caring for animals, but all her son needed was time. His injuries would heal on their own. "Go on without me, Ma," said the goose in a weak voice. "I'll catch up to you when I'm feeling better." "That is ridiculous," said the robot. "What kind of mother would just leave her injured son behind?" "But Ma—" "Stop talking," interrupted Roz. "You need to rest." Brightbill tried to argue, but he was already falling asleep. The cabin was simple, just a spare room with a wood stove, 2 chairs beside a table, and a couple of cots rotting in a corner. Dusty mugs and bowls sat on a shelf. Otherwise, all the walls were bare. It was clear no humans had been there for a very long time. However, it seemed that some other creature had moved in. The whole place had a foul odor. Lumps of feces were strewn about, and little footprints trailed away from a dark hole in the floor. Roz leaned over the hole, and in a language of animals, she said, "Hello, is anyone down there?" Something moved, and then a pair of shining eyes looked up from the darkness. "Who are you?" said a voice. "I did not invite you into my home." "I am sorry to intrude," said the robot. "My son and I were only trying to escape the hailstorm." "Your son?" said the voice. "Is that him in your arms? Let me see." Very gently, the robot lifted a folded cloth and revealed the sleeping goose. "He must take after his father," said the voice. "He is my adopted son," said the robot explained. "My name is Roz, and this is Brightbill." The shining eyes blinked, and the voice squeaked with excitement. "You're Roz and Brightbill. The birds have been singing about you for months. You are living legends." "Technically, I am not living," said the robot. "You seem pretty alive to me," said the voice. Either way, it's nice to meet you. They call me Sprinkles." With that, the creature crawled up through the hole in the floor. She was covered in black fur from her nose all the way to the tip of her fluffy tail. Well, except for those white stripes running down her back. You see, Sprinkles was a skunk. The robot took one look at her and stepped backwards. Sprinkles frowned. "You know, Roz, skunks only get stinky when they're nervous." "Are you nervous now?" "Well, sort of, but in a good way. I'm honored to meet you. Please pull up a seat and tell me what brings you here." Sprinkles hopped into the table and listened to Roz describe their journey. The skunk was a very good listener. While Roz spoke, Sprinkles nodded politely and said things like, "Oh my," and "Is that right?" and "You don't say." This went on until Brightbill began to stir. "Ma, I'm thirsty," he whispered. "There's a creek right out back," said Sprinkles, and that might be useful. She motioned to the bowls on the shelf. "Please help yourself to anything. My home is your home." It turns out skunks can be quite hospitable. Sprinkles invited the visitors to stay as long as they'd liked, and so our friends spent Brightbill's recovery in the cabin. The goose mostly slept. The robot brought him water and food. The skunk made sure they were both comfortable. A few mornings later, sunlight streamed in through the window and onto Brightbill. He was squawking and waddling and fluttering through the cabin. His injuries had healed, and he was eager to continue their journey. "Thank you for everything, Sprinkles." The robot waved as she marched away from the cabin with her son on her shoulder. "Glad I could help," called the skunk. "Misunderstood creatures like us gotta look out for each other." Pretty neat chapter. I kind of like how an unlikely character like Sprinkles the skunk was able to help Brightbill and heal him, help heal him, give him a place to stay. Were your predictions right? Did you predict that Brightbill would heal? And what was your prediction about if there was anybody in the cabin? I didn't really think about an animal being in there. I kind of just thought that a person might be living in there, and what if the person tried to turn in Roz and Brightbill? And so pretty neat. So for this chapter, we are going to do a vocab quiz. Not really a quiz. There's a couple words in here that I liked and that were kind of like buzzwords for me that I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about. So I want you guys to figure out on your own, there's 3 words, what they mean. So you can use the internet. You can use a dictionary. If you already know what they mean, great. But you're going to write the definition in your own words and then write a sentence using that word. So our first word that we're going to talk about is hospitable. I'll read about it, and here it is in the chapter. It turns out skunks can be quite hospitable. Okay. Number 2, where did it go? The word, sorry guys, I have them highlighted in here and I lost where it is. Let me find it. Okay, our second word is revealed. Very gently, the robot lifted a folded cloth and revealed the sleeping goose. Revealed. And the third word is eager. His injuries had healed, and he was eager to continue their journey. All right, you guys, so that's chapter 58, the cabin. So I want you guys to write down, remember, definition in your own words and using it in a sentence. And if you want to draw a picture of one of them, that'd be super cool too. All right, you guys, we'll see you tomorrow.